Hello, exam warriors. How are you? I'm back with an exciting video lessons. Today we are going to study important figure of speech. তোমরা জানো যে ফিগার অফ স্পিচ একটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ টপিক এসএসসি এবং সিটেটের ক্ষেত্রেও অলসো যে আমরা জানি ফিগার অফ স্পিচ থেকে বিভিন্ন ধরনের কোয়েশ্চেন আসে তো আমরা এই লেসনে প্র্যাকটিস করব ফিগার অফ স্পিচ প্রথমেই আমরা দেখে নেব ফিগার অফ স্পিচের ডেফিনেশন ডিফারেন্ট ফিগার অফ স্পিচের ডেফিনেশন তারপরে আমরা চলে যাব এক্সাম্পল ওয়ার্কআউটে তো আর দেরি না করে আমি সরাসরি চলে যাব স্লাইডে তো তোমাদের জন্য প্রথম যে ফিগার অফ স্পিচটা আছে স্ক্রিনে দেখতে পাচ্ছ আশা করছি সবাই এবং আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করবো আই রিকোয়েস্ট all of you to take out your pen and copy, sit down, read as well as try to solve the problems later on. So I request all of you to sit with pen and paper and be ready to solve the questions later on. So without much ado, let's start the lessons. So the first example is simile. Now what is simile? Now we all know simile is a direct comparison between two objects. Now direct comparison মানে হচ্ছে এখানে তোমরা দেখতে পাবে যে দুটো অবজেক্টের মধ্যে বা দুটো বস্তুর মধ্যে সরাসরি কম্পারিজন হয় এবং এখানে আমরা দেখি বা জানি আমরা যে অ্যাজ এবং লাইক থাকে যেমন এখানে এক্সাম্পল দেখো red as rose or any example you may take like she is as beautiful as rose. So here also as is used. Now how to detect is you have to just be very cautious while you are reading the sentence whether as and like is used or not. Now if you find as and like there, then without wasting single time you can be confirmed that it is simile. Now next example we have metaphor. Now what is metaphor? Now we all know simile is a direct comparison that is given here, direct comparison. Now metaphor is just the opposite, indirect comparison, but there is a difference. Now metaphor, indirect comparison between two unallied things or object. That means two different things or object. Now the popular example we know that is the camel. Camel is the sheep of desert. Camel is the sheep of desert. So here sheep being compared with camel. Now both camel and sheep there is no direct relation or association. Now if you take the example that is there, yet all experiences is an arch. তোমরা বলো দেখি এখানে কার সঙ্গে কার কম্পারিজন হচ্ছে? হ্যাঁ ঠিক, এক্সপিরিয়েন্সের সঙ্গে এখানে কম্পারিজন হচ্ছে আর্চের, রাইট? Now yet all experience is an arch. So experience and arch, two unallied object and comparison being drawn between experience and arch. So it is metaphor. Now coming to the next example, personification, that is very important and it is often used in poem. Now what is the definition? Living attributes to non-living things or object. Yes, বাংলায় বলতে গেলে আমরা যখন কোনো নন লিভিং অর্থাৎ যার মধ্যে প্রাণের কোনো অস্তিত্ব নেই সেই সমস্ত বিষয়বস্তু বা সেই সমস্ত জড় পদার্থের ওপর যখন আমরা প্রাণের স্পন্দন দিই বা লিভিং অ্যাট্রিবিউট যোগ করি তখন সেটা হয় পার্সনিফিকেশন. সো টু অ্যাড লিভিং অ্যাট্রিবিউটস অর লিভিং কোয়ালিটিস টু নন লিভিং অর ইনঅ্যানিমেট অবজেক্ট. So that is personification. Now example, what is the example here? Example is rain showed her sympathy by falling on the desert land. Now rain cannot show her sympathy, but it is assumed that rain is showing sympathy. So that is living attribute being invested on rain. রেনের উপর আমরা কি করছি না, বৃষ্টির উপরে একটা হিউম্যান টাচ বা হিউম্যান ফিলিংস আমরা অ্যাটাচ করছি বা যুক্ত করছি, একটা মানবিক ফিলিং যুক্ত করছি, তখন সেটা হয়ে যাচ্ছে পার্সোনিফিকেশন। নাও উই হ্যাভ আ নেক্সট এক্সাম্পল উই হ্যাভ অ্যাপোস্ট্রফি। নাও অ্যাপোস্ট্রফি ইজ আ শর্ট অ্যাড্রেস to nature or abstract ideas. It is also frequently used in poem also, you will find. Just like an example here, O grief, thou pierced all through. So O grief, here grief is an abstract quality, and O, this apostrophe or short address being made to grieve. So similarly, like if I say O joy, or oh disappointment, you killed me thoroughly. So that way a feeling or in the form of short address being made to inanimate or rather abstract qualities. So here the example is oh grief, thou pierced all through. আমরা যখন পরবর্তী স্লাইডে এক্সাম্পলগুলো দেখব যে কিভাবে এই যে নলেজগুলো, আমাদের নলেজ যেগুলো পাচ্ছি এখান থেকে ডেফিনেশনগুলো পড়ে এবং এক্সাম্পলগুলো বুঝে সেগুলো অ্যাপ্লিকেশন কীভাবে হচ্ছে সেটা আমরা দেখব নেক্সট স্লাইডে। বিভিন্ন যখন প্রবলেম আমরা সলভ করব তখন আমরা বুঝতে পারবো যে এর অ্যাপ্লিকেশনগুলো কীভাবে হচ্ছে। নাও নেক্সট ওয়ান, দ্যাট ইজ hyperbole. Now hyperbole, we all know hyperbole, we often say hyperbolic statement. Now hyperbolic statement means that is an exaggerated statement. Exaggerated statement means you are putting color, means you are adding color, then something that is not in that sense real, but we are putting or exaggerating it, we are adding color it to make it larger than life. So that becomes hyperbole or hyperbolic statement. Now coming to the definition, an exaggerated statement is made. Now the popular example we are all aware, একটা আমরা জানি এই এক্সাম্পলটা এটা ড্যাফোডিলস থেকে নেওয়া হয়েছে, 10,000 saw I at a glance. Now here it's quite familiar. 10,000 saw I at a glance. I cannot see 10,000. That poet said that I saw 10,000. Now we cannot see 10,000 flowers at a glance, but it is a statement that is an exaggerated one, putting color larger than life. Now next figure of speech we have, that is pathetic fallacy. Now pathetic fallacy, there is a difference between personification and pathetic fallacy that we have to be very cautious of and also keep in mind the difference. Now pathetic fallacy is nature showing interest in human action. Now most important feature is either by sympathy or antipathy. Either nature showing feelings, that is sympathetic, or showing rages, anger, okay, that is antipathy. Now what is the example? Now here is an example, and instantly the whole sky burned with fury. Now burned with fury means the sky as if got angry and burned with fury against them. So that is of course antipathy, it is not at all sympathy. So the example is, and instantly the whole sky burned. Similarly you will find different elements of nature or different object of nature either showing sympathy or antipathy. Okay, clear? Now let's move to the next part. The next part we have next part. Here is the next example we have, that is antithesis. Now what is antithesis? Antithesis, we all know, it is a contrasted words or ideas in balanced form. Now contrasted word or ideas in balanced form, keep this in mind, it has to be noted here, it is in balanced form. Just like an example, Here is an example. Art is long, life is short. Now in the example you can see art is long and life is short. Now what are the criteria of definitions here? Two criteria, that is contrasted words or ideas. Another is a balanced form. Of course it is a balanced form. Life is a short and art is a long. It's a balanced form. Then of course one is long and another is short, so it is just the contrasted words or ideas. But keep that in mind, the order has to be in a balanced form, right? Now moving on, next example we have oxymoron. Now oxymoron is a very popular one, we often use even in our communication also. Now what we often say, it was a bittersweet experience. Now of course the experience was not a sweet one, but to just to make it more intense, we say bittersweet, just to emphasize the bitterness of the experience. So what is the example, what is the definition here? Contradictory words juxtaposed, means two opposite words are placed side by side. Like here the example, hasten slowly or bittersweet, as I told just now. So bittersweet, so he moved hasten slowly. So hasten and slowly, two opposite word placing side by side, juxtaposed, so it's oxymoronic expression we can say. Now next in line we have epigram. Now what is the definition of epigram? Now epigram definition, what is the definition? Now epigram we see is a shocking contradiction in apparent meaning, means apparently it seems, in epigram you will find that apparently it's a contradictions, but there is a deep meaning underneath, a significant meaning you will find if you analyze deep. If you go deep into the meaning, definitely you will find it carries a deep profound meaning. Now what is an example? Let's see. Failure is a pillar of success. It's a very popular example. Failure is a pillar of success. Even in motivational spare also you often use for students, those who are not performing well, often say failure is the pillar of success. So that is apparent contradiction in the statement, but there is a hidden significance, a deep significance, profound significance, that yes, you have to be, you have to fail, you have to face failure in order to be successful. So this is the real deep meaning underneath. So that's why it is epigrammatic. So shocking contradiction in apparent meaning, but having a deep significance. Deep significance. Significance is very deep, profound meaning you will have if you analyze it closely. Right? Now moving on, we have the next example is climax. Now we'll read this climax and anticlimax in pair. Climax, what is climax? And anticlimax is just the opposite. Now climax is words or ideas in ascending order of significance. Words or ideas in ascending order of significance. Now an example you'll find here, I came, I saw, I conquered. So this is the ascending order. I came, আমি এলাম, আমি দেখলাম এবং জিতলাম. Now what is the objective? Objective also we need to keep in mind, striking impact. It is a striking impact. So that is the thing. Objective is to have a striking impact. I came, I saw, I conquered. So this is the ascending order of significance. Now as I told you just now, আমি এইমাত্র বললাম যে যেটা ক্লাইম্যাক্স যেটা হবে, অ্যান্টি ক্লাইম্যাক্স তারই অপোজিট। আমাদেরকে এটা মাথায় রাখতে হবে। We have to keep in mind that objective is striking impact and another objective is ridicule. Now anticlimax is often used to ridicule or to create laughter. See here the example, the man lost his mother. একজন তার মাকে হারাচ্ছে, তারপরেই ওয়াইফ, তারপরে মেড। তাহলে এই অর্ডারটা দেখো। অফকোর্স its objective is to create laughter, to ridicule. Why? Because mother and wife lost, this is the order, then made. So this order of course has been delivered to create laughter or to ridicule. So that's why it is anticlimax. I hope this part is clear. So we have covered almost more than 10 examples. Now let's come to the next slide. Next slide, what we are going to do, we are going to test our learning skills, what we have learned. আমরা কি শিখলাম সেটা একটু টেস্ট করে নেব এই স্লাইডে। তো প্রথম এক্সাম্পল তোমরা দেখো, সবাইকে আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করব যে খাতা পেন নিয়ে বসতে, কারণ যেটা শিখলে সেটা যদি তুমি প্র্যাকটিস না করো তাহলে সে শেখাটা কোনো কাজে আসবে না। সেই জন্য আমি যারা রেকর্ডেড দেখবে তাদেরকেও বলবো যে তোমরা আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং পার্টটা ক্লিয়ার হওয়ার পরে এটা নিজেরা করার চেষ্টা করবে, তাহলে তোমাদের কাজে আসবে। সো আর দেরি না করে তাহলে এক্সারসাইজে শুরু করা যাক। So what we have, the first example is, it was the best time, it was the worst time. বলো দেখি এটা কি হবে? Give me the answer. What would be? It was the best time, it was the worst time. See, this is in the balanced form. Of course it is a balanced form and the opposite or contrasted ideas. So what would be the answer? What would be the answer? Now let's come to here. See, let's come here, the first example. Antithesis, contrasted words or ideas in balanced form. So contrasted word or ideas in balanced form. So here also we find that it was the best time, it was the worst time. So these are contrasted ideas and it is in the balanced form. So chok kan bujhi amra bolte pari it is antithesis. Now next example we had a bittersweet moment. Now bittersweet moment, আমি আগেই বলেছি যে bitter এবং sweet opposite word পাশাপাশি বসেছে। So juxtaposed, two opposite word juxtaposed, so it is oxymoron. চোখ কান বুঝি oxymoron. Now next we have life is a journey. Now life is a journey, এখানে দেখো লাইফ এবং জার্নি এই দুটো জিনিসের সঙ্গে তুলনা করা হচ্ছে এবং দুটো হচ্ছে যে ইনডিরেক্ট কম্পারিজন, ডিরেক্ট কিন্তু নয়, কারণ এখানে অ্যাজ বা লাইক নেই। তাহলে এটা আমরা কি বলতে পারি? এটা হচ্ছে মেটাফোর। এটা মেটাফোর, জাস্ট লাইক এটা আমরা বলবো যে অক্সিমোরন এবং এটা অ্যান্টিথেসিস। Now next we have number 4 example, the wind whispered secretly. Now this is whispered secretly, it is personification. আমরা দেখেই বুঝতে পারছি এটা পার্সনিফিকেশন। কোনো ডাউট আছে? আশা করছি কারোর কোনো ডাউট নেই, এটা পার্সনিফিকেশন আমরা দেখেই বুঝতে পারছি। আচ্ছা, নেক্সট এক্সাম্পল, kid school bag weighs a ton. Now see, weighs a ton, mark this phrase, weighs a ton. It is hyperbolic expression. So কারণ বাচ্চার স্কুল ব্যাগ প্রচণ্ড ভারী, এই সেন্সটা বোঝানোর জন্য এই ফ্রেজটা ইউজ হয়েছে, weighs a ton, weighs a ton. So that is hyperbole. Now next example, the clouds got angry and burst in fury. বলতে পারবে এটা কি ইউজ হয়েছে? কে বলতে পারবে? দেখো এইটা ইউজ হয়েছে নেচার ইন অ্যান্টিপ্যাথি। কখন আমরা বলবো নেচার ইন অ্যান্টিপ্যাথি? শোয়িং জেস্চার বাট ইন অ্যান্টিপ্যাথি, নট sympathy. See in pathetic fallacy, what we have? Pathetic fallacy, we have nature showing interest in human action either by sympathy or antipathy. এবার আমরা দেখি এক্সাম্পলে এটা সিম্প্যাথি না অ্যান্টিপ্যাথি। দেখো, দ্য ক্লাউডস গট অ্যাংরি অ্যান্ড বার্স্ট ইন ফারি, তাহলে এটা সিম্প্যাথি না অ্যান্টিপ্যাথি? অফকোর্স অ্যান্টিপ্যাথি। সো অ্যান্টিপ্যাথি। যদি অ্যান্টিপ্যাথি হয় তাহলে কি হবে? আনসার উড বি প্যাথেটিক ফ্যালাসি। Clear? Now see another example we have. Another example is knowledge is power. Now knowledge is power. This is knowledge is power. What would it be? Now this is a shocking statement, because we what we know that power means something, means arms and ammunitions. Your money is power, if we say. But a knowledge, abstract quality, can be a power. That means it's a shocking contradictions. Apparently it's shocking contradictions, but there is a hidden meaning. Yes, of course knowledge is power, because in today's economy is a knowledge economy. Now one who is knowledgeable, definitely he or she, or one who is knowledgeable, he or she is respected, held in high esteem. Now knowledge is power is here, it is an epigrammatic statement. Now knowledge is power is here epigrammatic, shocking contradiction. Knowledge, how can knowledge be power? But yes, it is knowledge is power, because shocking contradiction is there. So it is an epigram, it's an epigrammatic statement, right? Now moving on, we have, in this slide we have 3 examples left. Now the next example, winning the trophy, I tripped on the stairs. Now see, I tripped on the stairs. I tripped on the stairs. See, I won the trophy. I won the trophy, but this is a trivial event. I tripped on the stairs. Now objective is to create ridicule or laughter. Now which poetic device being used here to create laughter? See, I winning the trophy, I tripped on the stairs. So it is anticlimax. Anticlimax. অ্যান্টিক্লাইম্যাক্স। আমরা যদি ডেফিনেশনটা একবার দেখি, আমরা দেখতে পাবো যে ডেফিনেশনটা কি আছে। দেখো অ্যান্টিক্লাইম্যাক্সের যে ডেফিনেশনটা আছে, এখানে ওয়ার্ডস আর আইডিয়াস ইন ডিসেন্ডিং অর্ডার, অর্থাৎ সাডেন ফল আছে, এবং অবজেক্টিভ কি রিডিকিউল আর লাফটার। তাহলে সেক্ষেত্রে এখানে এক্সাম্পল ছিল ম্যান লস্ট হিজ মাদার, ওয়াইফ অ্যান্ড মেড। এই মেড কথাটা দিয়ে এখানে লাফটার বা রিডিকিউল করা হয়েছে। সিমিলারলি এখানে যদি দেখি আমরা নেক্সট এক্সাম্পলে, দেখো তোমরা দেখতে পাবে উইনিং দ্য ট্রফি আই ট্রিপড অন দ্য স্টেয়ার্স। সো আই ট্রিপড অন দ্য স্টেয়ার্স, its objective is to create ridicule, fun or laughter. So it is anticlimax. Now moving on the next example we have, he risked his job, reputation and his life. He risked his job, reputation and his life. Now see, this is an ascending order. Risk his job, then reputation and his life. Now in if you see the definition of climax, you will see words or ideas in ascending order of significance. I came, I saw, I conquered. So ascending order. Similarly here also in the example you will see he risked his job, reputation and his life. So this is climax. Now we have come to the last example of this slide. Their love was like Romeo and Juliet. See, their love was like Romeo and Juliet. So this is just another example. You might be knowing Romeo and Juliet. It's a figure. It's a figure, historical figure. Now it is an allusion. It is an allusion. So their love was like Romeo and Juliet is an allusion. So now coming to the next set of question we have, that's a bit difficult one. Here is an example of a poem, and you have to identify the figure of speech used in this poem. Now let's read the poem. The storm is like a wild beast. Okay, I'm just see here the red inked portion, of course, having poetic devices. Okay, all the red one. Now storm is like a wild beast. So like is used, it is of course simile. Now its claws scratching the sky, it howls through the night, a ghost of fury. Now a ghost of fury, that is the storm being compared with a ghost of fury. So that is metaphor ghost of fury. Now then, passing by, the trees bow to its power, grieving in the wind's embrace, as the earth sighs. Now earth is sighing, that is, earth cannot sigh, so it's a personification, drenched in tears that fill its space. The moon, a pale witness, looks on in silent dread. Now see this word silent dread. Tell me, what is the poetic device used here? Now silent dread, you will find, is an oxymoronic expression. Why? Because silent, we know, that is a numbness. Now dread means you are horrified. Now what would be the expression of a person being horrified? Of course not silent. So in that sense, silent and dread are opposite and juxtaposed, so it is oxymoron, right? Now as the lighting whispers secrets that no human can ever thread, the rain sings a song of sorrow. Now the rain sings a songs of sorrow, it is personification, as well as a song of sorrow, that you may say it's a also pathetic fallacy also, because songs of sorrow, it's a, in that sense, antipathy. Now its voice so loud and clear, while the thunder roars with rage. Now thunder roars with rage, of course it is antipathy, and it is example of pathetic fallacy. It is example of pathetic fallacy. Why? Because nature showing not sympathetic, antipathic gesture. Now as if it holds a timeless fear. Now look at this example, oh my poor heart. Now poor heart, so an apostrophe is made, oh, so it addressing my poor heart, oh, so it is apostrophe, oh my poor heart, so it is apostrophe. Why do you beat so fast? You too are lost in this storm, so wild and vast, the world's sorrowful soul. Now see here, though it is not covered here, but yes, s alliteration is there, sorrowful soul. We will cover this part later on in my second video that will be coming soon, but it is not, the definition is not discussed here. But yes, we all know s alliteration is there. Now there is a difference between alliteration and assonance. You all must be aware that alliteration is a consonant sound repetitions and assonance is a vowel sound repetitions. So we'll be discussing in great detail later on in next video probably. Now the last two lines, even the stars are hiding, too terrified to fly. Now again tt alliteration is there, consonant sound alliteration is there. So this is the way we can check or test our knowledge of poetic devices. So আশা করছি তোমাদের সবার ভালো লাগছে এবং আজকের ভিডিওটা ভালো লেগেছে। আমরা চেষ্টা করব এর পার্ট 2টা খুব শীঘ্রই আনার। সো থ্যাংক ইউ অল, বাই বাই।